Thank you. All right. Well, very good afternoon. Muito boa tarde, Portugal. Meu nome é Ricardo Diniz. Quantos portugueses é que temos aqui, só para ter uma noção? Okay. Well, it's got to be English anyway, because we're transmitting live to the world. Thanks for holding up. We've had a long day. I will not be long, and I will be fast and furious, as some people seem to describe what I do. I'm a solo sailor, sou navegador solitário que cresci na costa da Caparica. I didn't have much in my favor to be a solo sailor, but I said, okay, I want to do stuff different, and I was extremely unsuccessful at school, super unsuccessful. I was unsuccessful in the classroom, I used to get in trouble, and then I established a really good relationship with the headmaster because I used to spend half my time in there explaining why I was in trouble in the classroom. What happened was that as a sailor, I didn't know much about the ocean. I just knew I loved the ocean because I was about that age. That age. Hello? All right, battery's dead on this thing. Solutions, tech team. So basically, I was 8 years old when I decided I wanted to sail around the world alone. And that's a really tricky one to tell your parents when you... doesn't work, battery's dead. Okay, thank you. Okay, thanks very much. Where are we now? Is that working now? Okay. All right. No, not working. Keep trying. And the message is a very simple one. I was completely out of the box. People were saying, all right, this guy is completely, he's got different ideas, he wants to do different things. And I just kept going and kept getting in trouble in school. I never gave my parents any happy grades at all for them to be proud of. But one thing I was extremely sure of was that I wanted to continue in my path and become a sailor. So I cleaned a lot of boats, and I became extremely good at cleaning boats. But then I said, okay, there's different ways of doing this. I can't be cleaning boats all my life. So I always had a very restless spirit. Eu era extremamente irrequieto e irritante, meaning that I decided to establish lots of different ideas and projects and things. My first business was when I was 12 years old. My grandmother made some amazing carrot cake, and I used to surf, so I'd go to the beach with my surfboard and my carrot cake. I'd go surfing, come back, and my friends had eaten my carrot cake. So I thought, okay, well, there's an interesting business opportunity there. So I started making more carrot cake and selling it to my friends. With that money, I then started buying their old surfboards, restoring them, cleaning them up, and sometimes reselling them back to them. Because they're like, hey, that's my board, I want it back. I'm like, yeah, but I've spent some money on it, so it's like, a bit more expensive. So that's how I started making a little bit of money. And I've never lost that spirit of joining the dots. And that's one of the reasons we got this board here. Hey, that's how old I was, that's my first boat. Quem é que teve uma prancha de choravite? That was me, about 6 or 7 or something like that. Are we on control, or shall I keep tapping?
You just move your hand and I'll...
No, just keep tapping away every 10 seconds, because we're going to be quick because you guys need to go and have a beer or something. So just keep tapping every 10 seconds and I'll keep talking. So, life went on, and business ideas came in and out of my head at the speed of light, and I still wanted to be a sailor. So I moved to Southampton in the south of the UK. I did not have that attitude of, epá, quer sair de Portugal que aqui isto não rende. No, that was not the idea. Okay? That was not the idea at all. But what happened was, I realized that nobody around the world knew my country, really. They knew that we had been really cool 500 years ago, Vasco da Gama, e tal, Magalhães, but they didn't know that we were like leaders in cork production. They didn't know that we had really good wine. They thought we were a little place next to Spain. I also lived in America. Keep tapping, every 10. Keep going. Yeah. I also lived in America, and it was really cool because these Americans say, oh, you're from Portugal. And I'm like, yeah, Portugal. And they're like, yeah, I was in South America on holiday last year. It's pretty cool down there. It took me a while to understand why this happened. It was because in South America they speak Portuguese in Brazil, and so he thought that Portugal was somehow related with that. So this pisses me off. It really does. Yeah? They don't know where I'm from. They don't know my country. Dude, we're amazing. We're good people. We've got an amazing nation here. We've got an amazing history. With all due respect, if I was from Belgium, I'd be stuffed. There's nothing going on up there. Nice people, eh? I mean, nothing against it, but like, oh, I'm from Belgium, I want to sail around the world. Uh-huh. But I'm from Portugal and I want to sail around the world, and everyone's like, oh yeah, in America, that makes sense to them. And CNN, which is on here somewhere, you'll have to learn mechanics when you're a sailor as well. Suddenly I was in America and CNN said, hey, we want to cover your story. And I was like, why? I haven't even done it yet. What story? They're like, no, you're a young Portuguese sailor. You want to retrace history. I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. So I started seeing value And guess what? That's in Newport, Rhode Island. It's a big monument dedicated to the Portuguese, and that's me on CNN looking like a pirate with long hair. I mean, and all I was just a guy with a dream, and I haven't actually done it yet, but things were coming together. And how does this relate to you, actually? Okay, I'm not going to talk to you about websites and stuff. I'm going to talk to you about you. We often feel a little bit lost, like, oh, what are we going to do with our lives, and unemployed, and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. I can't handle that at all, okay? I cannot handle complaint without action. If you come to me and say, I've been working really, really hard to get to the Switch conference, I need that gentleman to come here. He didn't know I was going to do this. Bring that thing, bring that piece of paper. If you tell me I was working really hard to get to the Switch conference, I didn't know I could make it, all right, I'm going to show you a simple example of determination. You got 10 seconds, get your ass down here. Hurry up. I'm going to show you a simple example of determination. This young man left Lisbon this morning. He took 6 cars to get here, and do you know how he got here? Hurry up, I want to show people and keep them buzzing. Come on. Say hello to Ricardo Salta. He hitchhiked here to get to the Switch conference. With that, that says Porto because he didn't have a pen to write it down, so he innovated. Thank you very much. I've known this kid since he's 15 years old, and he fights for shit. And that's what I'm here to tell you about. It's fighting for stuff you want. Thank you, Ricky. Welcome. When you want to do something, you need to fight for it, okay? I need $1 million to be a sailor. How do you become a sailor when you need $1 million? It's really, really hard, okay? My first letter of sponsorship was for Red Bull. I said, hey guys, you're pretty radical, so am I. I need $1 million. This is my bank account details. Can you transfer and then just let me know? It's like I didn't know anything about marketing or anything. But what I started doing was joining the dots and realizing, you're probably not going to read this, but it's just metaphorically, you got a fatter one? Oh, perfect. Thank you very much. Okay. Hold it. Teamwork. Go. Okay. Okay, it works. You will often find that you think you're really good at something. Good. That's a very good start. If you're lost, if you're confused, if you don't know what you want to do, start with this. What do I love doing? Yeah, what do I love doing? And be specific. Don't say, I love cooking. Say, I love cooking pasta. Because you might not be good at cooking desserts, but you might be really good at cooking pasta. And then write down what you're good at, which is slightly different than what you love doing. I love surfing, but I'm not like, whoa, I'm not a cool, good surfer, but I love surfing. I've been doing it for 25 years. So what are you like really good at? And that's an interesting thing. I love surfing. I'm really good at surfing. But then the third one is very important. You ask people, hey, Bob, Mary, John, Dad, Mom, I want you to write down on a piece of paper, what do you think I'm really good at? And let them sit with it. And then something magic happens, and I guarantee to you that you will find a match between I love cooking pasta, I'm actually pretty good at cooking pasta. And your family and friends will say, hey, you're good at cooking pasta. You know what? That's probably what you should be doing with your life. Have you thought about that? It's a really simple map. And you write it down and you delegate. Okay, one of the most powerful things I have in my life is called a piece of paper. It's called an A5 piece of paper. And I fold it. Every week I make one of these. And I fold it in 8. And each one of these things is a little section. Stuff to do. Take care of my cats. Take the kids to school. No, important stuff. I've got a meeting with Cavaco Silva next week. I've got to go to Berlin, Cape Town, Rio, and New Zealand in the next 4 weeks. I have no idea how because my day has 24 hours just like yours. It's all here. It gets overwhelming. Do you know what I do? I fold it. I look at just one of the bits. I don't look at all the bits, all right? This is so simple and it's so powerful. It frees your brain to do other stuff. Where are we? Okay, keep going. I want to get further on now. Let's forget some sailing. Let's talk about business. Keep flicking. All right, this is an important one. Why? Because over the years, when you meet with companies to sponsor projects and to get you, where you want to get, and I've done a lot of sailing. I've done some really cool projects. I've learned that, okay? Don't say, oh, I went to the job interview and let's see how it goes. No, what else can you do after that job interview to really captivate those guys? How can you go the extra edge? Because your most competitive advantage is actually you. Discover what it is. What is your edge? What makes you absolutely different? I got on this stage and you guys were probably looking at me like, who's this guy with a weird shirt? with sandals and stuff. But we've now created the relationship, and that's the edge, right? You guys now think I'm a kind of cool, kind of informal gash fish, right? You know? I'm going to help our Ricardo Souza guy. Isn't he amazing? I love this guy. All right, where are we? Let's rewind 2 slides there, because I just want to really emphasize that. What you do is I make water, okay? How you do it is I put water in a bottle. I call this the iPod effect and the iPhone effect. We've got a lot of iPhones in this room, as we've mentioned. It's just a phone. But Apple make it cool, right? So why do I get sponsored, and why do I get on CNN, and why do I get cash to sail around the world? Ricky's now going to flick through these like every 2 seconds. He's going to show you some faces. These are people I've met with over the years. Some of them are arrogant bastards. Others are really good. Okay? I'm not pointing any fingers. It wasn't this guy. It wasn't this guy. I meant the one before. There's some wonderful people out there in the world. And you know what? They're old people. They've had breakfast and they brush their teeth in the morning before going to work. This guy, Paulo Zvid, he now has the Sonai thing. I had a meeting with him. After the meeting, said, hey, let's go kite surf, dude. I'm like, what? This is Paulo Zvid inviting me to go kite surfing? He's just a guy. And when you learn to break that barrier, you can get anything. And I wrote this shit 10 years or more ago, and that's exactly what it is. If you keep at it, you will get it. Don't fucking quit on this country, man. It pisses me off to watch the news. Throw away the fucking TV, man. Portugal's amazing. Look what we did 500 years ago. I respect that there are young people unemployed out there. Of course I do. Damn it. It sucks to be living with your parents at 36. But don't quit on Portugal, for goodness sake. We are respected because we did important stuff years ago. I've met with these arrogant guys, millionaires, richest guys in the world. They're old people. They haven't got what we've got in Portugal. I've traveled the world, and I'm back here. I've lived in the Caribbean. I'm the blue sheep, by the way. All right? I'm the guy that goes on the ocean, and I'm blue. I'm different. And this is what I do, one by one, and this is the last thing I leave for you guys. Create lifelong relationships. The kid that came on stage, when he was about 15, he said to me, hey, you're the dude that wanted to sail around the world. I had long hair. It was pretty easy to recognize me. And I'm like, yeah, who are you? He's like, oh, yeah, I think your website sucks, man. We need to do a better website for you. And I'm like, who are you, man? And he was like, yeah, because your website's in English and it should be in Portuguese. And I'm like, well, I haven't got time. I'm doing it all myself. And then he took the logins to my website and he translated it all during the night. And the next day I had a beautiful new website in 2 languages. We're still buddies. We still work together on stuff that was back in 1997. He made it to Switch today, like you've seen already. Lifelong relationships are super important. And when you have them, you never feel lost. I succeed as a businessman and as a sailor because I have the right people around me, the right sponsors. There's an amazing event you will all hear about very soon called the Portugal Ocean Race. It's an around-the-world race for people to sail around the world. It's a platform to promote Portugal, our products, our services around the world through the channel that the world already recognizes associated to Portugal, which is the oceans. I created this in 2006. Cavaco is backing it. We got a lot of sponsors. It's probably the toughest time in the world to pull this off, but we are pulling it off and it's working out, and we are going to make it, and we are going to communicate Portugal through the oceans. Invest and develop strategic partnerships. You work it out. I'm not going to explain it to you and read it out, but that is really important, and I hope you understand what that means. 4, be brave, be different, and innovate. That's what I'm doing right now. Right? Being myself. Be yourself as well. Trust in it. You're shy, that's cool. I'm pretty shy too. I was the last guy to have a girlfriend in school. I'm serious. I'm serious. I was the last guy to have a girlfriend because I was so shy. Delegate. Awesome. I'm thinking millions of things all the time. I haven't got time to do little website updates and stuff, but there are people out there that love doing little website updates and stuff. Find them, inspire them, and delegate. Right now, I got 3 guys doing the new PortugalOceanRace.com website. Awesome. I got another guy designing. I got another guy doing filming in Portimão, where the race is going to start from. All right? And above all, man, I have failed so many times. I've gone bankrupt. I've failed. I've smashed that sexy little yellow boat you saw there into a container, and I was rescued by a cruise ship. I have had it really bad. I've slept on the streets because I went to Germany to meet with a company, but I didn't have money to book a hotel, just a flight, so I was sleeping rough on the streets until I got the meeting, but I got the deal. You know, you gotta be willing to risk stuff and fight for it. And I don't mean like, estou a dar o máximo e estou a enviar imensos currículos. No, you got to go way beyond that, man. You got to go way beyond. Otherwise, you will not win. And if you don't fight, don't complain, man. You can only complain if you're fighting. I don't know what slide comes next because I always improvise. Okay, this is good. This is really good, all right? Once you build the beast, sometimes I'm really tired. I usually go to bed at 3 because I got a business in America, Skype calls, blah, 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 so I'm tired. When you've done that, it's impossible to be tired because the beast keeps you moving. Your idea, your dream motivates you along. And guess who wrote that? Steve Jobs, good guy. We've all got a product of his except me. I got a Nokia phone still. But I like the guy. I think he's great. I don't know what slide comes next, but it's probably pretty interesting in conclusion. Okay, that's it. Thank you guys for everything. I wish you really all the best.